Okay, public comment it is. Let me read our standard guidelines for public comment. Public comment's limited to 2 minutes per person. Comment can express support or dissent for regulatory action. Individuals should not use public comment to complain about specific personnel, attacking or defaming an individual. Speakers making a highly detailed or complex comment should also consider providing a written outline of their words to the board. And let me just say, we do read those, so feel free, it will not be lost. If you want to revise and extend, as they say in Congress, send it in and we will definitely go through it. Please remember that children may hear your comments. Be thoughtful and professional. Keep your comments appropriate for a general audience. If you have material with explicit language or content, please submit that material in writing to the board at publiccomment@schools.utah.gov, and that's available on our website. Okay, we do have a number of signups. I think first up is Lexi Cunningham here in person.
Chair Moss, Vice Chair Hart, Vice Chair Earl, members of the board, Superintendent Dixon and staff, good morning and welcome back to school. I'm happy to be here. Last night I sent you all an email filled with great back to school videos, stories, pictures, just a sampling of what is going on in our schools as we came back to school. I also provided you with a link to the USSA website and information on how to download our app. We are going to post a positive school story every day, and we will, in each month, we will have a story about each district. So if you want to follow along and you just need to smile, I encourage you to look at those stories, follow along on our website or on our app, and you will just be amazed at all the wonderful things going on this year. I'd like to congratulate our elementary and high school principals of the year. It's hard following them because they are such amazing individuals. Also would like to give a huge shout out to our teachers. They have made back to school so amazing for our students. Hearing from superintendents that this has been a really good back to school. Kids and students and families are just getting right in and connecting and learning, and that's what we want to see. I'd also like to thank you for your work this summer. Back to school doesn't happen without work that takes place here, takes place in districts, and so thank you. I know that you work hard throughout the summer. USSA and USBA look forward to working with you again this year. It's through that work and collaboration that great things can happen for our students. So as you deliberate today and tomorrow, I just encourage you to be kind, be productive, be student focused, and be willing to inspire greatness. Your leadership is appreciated, and we couldn't do this work without you. Thank you.
We can clap for everybody. We like everybody. Well, all right. It just happened. I know. It's back to school. It's back to school exuberance. Jay Blaine up next.
Good morning, board members. Chair Moss, Vice Chair Hart, Vice Chair Earl, and Superintendent Dixon. I'll just echo everything that Lexi just said and sit down. No, I was going to say a lot of the same things. We, back to school as a classroom teacher of 20 years. I spoke to some of the other educators here at the board this morning. It brings, anticipation, excitement, and a few concerns, but I also want to recognize everyone who's made the back to school possible, from the board to the local boards to all of the educators and all of the education support professionals in the buildings that got the buildings ready, got everything else ready for school to start again. But I do want to talk about one concern that's out there, and it has to do with, one big concern has to do with special education. There are a lot of concerns about staffing in special education, and a lot of that is around paraeducators. We love our paraeducators. They are a very necessary piece for student success in special education. They support the educators, and along these lines, we are going to be submitting a budget brief to the legislature with a request for an 8% increase on the WPU. This will allow districts to address staffing concerns in their own districts and what they might need. It'll allow them to, for funds to flow into restricted special ed and at risk where our most vulnerable student populations are. It will also be able to maybe address these needs with paraeducators who provide such a support to the students and the educators. We need to be able to attract and retain these special educators and paraeducators. And for this reason, we would hope you would think long and hard about your WPU ask to be in line with these needs. Thank you very much.
All right, next up, Corey Fairholm, Utah PTA President.
Good morning. Thanks for allowing me to speak today. I am the Utah PTA president, and the PTA mission is to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. And PTA is the largest voice for children advocacy. Our children are the future, and it is our collective responsibility to nurture their potential and create an environment where they can thrive. And today, I want to tell you that at the beginning of the year, all of our PTA leaders from Logan to St. George are being trained by the district leaders and PTA leaders to be able to understand the district policies. They are also taught about the nonprofit status of PTA and the opportunities that PTA provides the students. And they are able to work together with teachers and administration as partners in our children's learning. This time of year, PTA are hosting back to school nights, fun runs, health and safety fairs, walk to school days, senior sunrises, dads and donuts reading programs, reflections programs, community night, movie nights, and we're hosting kindness weeks, red ribbon weeks. And so we're doing many things in the schools that are creating lasting memories and building a sense of belonging within our school community. And when parents and teachers work together, we create a powerful support system that not only benefits our children today, but also lays the foundation for a brighter and more promising future. So thank you so much for your support, and let's keep building bridges and strengthening our communities together by making our children's future attainable. Thank you.
I'm missing on mic here. Amber Bonner, Utah PTA.
Good morning, board. I hope that your meeting today is not as long as your meeting last month. I was here for part of it and then went home to watch from home, and whew, good job, you guys. My name's Amber Bonner. I am the new education commissioner this year for Utah PTA, replacing France Barral. I just wanted to introduce myself to you and to let you know a little bit about me. I am a former member of the Alpine School District Board. I just finished that term last December. I have 7 children, 5 of which have now graduated from Alpine District schools, and 4 are currently in college. So we did a lot of moving kids over the last couple of weeks. I have 2 kids currently in Alpine District schools. I've been on multiple school community councils and PTA boards over my time with my children in those schools. And I just want to express my gratitude to the hundreds of teachers that we have now had and administrators that have gone out of their way to help my children with their unique needs, to be transparent with me and to reach out to meet what they needed. I wanted to speak to one thing on your agenda today. As a school board, one of the things that we advocated very hard for was impact fees. I think those in growing districts like Alpine, like Davis, like Tooele, that would be just a game changer for helping get the buildings done that need to be done. So as you're talking about that, please keep that in mind. I'm looking forward to working with all of you and would be happy to have you reach out to me if there's anything I can do to help you. So thank you.
Thank you, Amber. All right. Let's see, Monica Wilbur. Is Monica here? There we go.
Thank you. On July 11th, 7 members of the State Board met with Chair Jim Moss. It was reported that these members met with Chair Moss to demand that member Natalie Klein be reprimanded again, this time for speaking out against the sexualization of children by our schools. One of these board members, Sarah Reel, then emailed board leadership members Moss, Hart, and Earl a complaint about Natalie because, as Reel wrote in her email, Chair Moss asked us to reach out with any evidence we have. Sarah Reel went on to produce multiple pages and leaks of evidence that wouldn't even fool Scooby-Doo. Then either Reel or another member with knowledge of the complaint email and the secret meeting leaked this information plus the details of board leadership's supposedly confidential investigation of Klein to KSL. These 7 board members, including Sarah Reel, acted as Klein's accusers. These 7 board members, including Sarah Reel, then proceeded to take part in not 1 but 2 closed executive session meetings in which they discussed what kind of punishment the board should dish out to member Klein. These 7 board members, including Sarah Reel, acted as Klein's jurors. Finally, these 7 board members, including Sarah Reel, acted as Klein's judge by taking action to sign an unofficial pseudo-reprimand of Natalie Klein that was released only to Klein, that is, until member Brent Strait leaked the letter, apropos of nothing, to 2 people who had written Brent Strait and Leanne Wood to ask why they were leaking the details of the closed session through a letter to constituents. So what we have are state board members who are leakier than a dollar store diaper. And they think they can act as accuser, jury, and judge, all out of the highly ironic pretense that they are protecting the good name of the board. Finally, I have one question for those members who secretly accuse Natalie Klein. Why are you still hiding who you are? Both Natalie and the public have the right to know the part you played in this embarrassing and gross abuse of your power as elected officials. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. We next have Brianna Hugh. We don't typically respond, but there are a couple things that were alleged, and let me just say those have an appropriate channel. There were 6 board members and myself. That's being reviewed and presented. So we do try to avoid in this forum attacking individuals. There's an attack to me, so that's my response. Other things will have to be responded to in a different forum, but we want to avoid, of course, sharing things that may have been or may not have been done in closed session. There's speculation out there, but there's a process we follow and includes confidentiality. So we ask our board members and the public to try to respect that. Let's go to Brianna Hugh online.
Hi, it won't let me turn on my video, but that's okay because I can still say what I need to say. So we're good.
All right.
Okay. So I'm a parent and a teacher and, oh, here we go. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I just want to make a comment about something that the USBE staff does that I just want to give a shout out to. I just want to comment on both the core guides and the parent guides. I've used both as a parent and as a teacher. The core guides are super helpful. We have the standards which we go through, which tell us what the students have to master, but we are responsible for coming up with how to master them, and the core guides are really helpful. One other way that actually the core guides have really helped me is in helping with cross-curricular teams. I teach 9th grade English, And we've been pushing as a school-wide literacy efforts. So I was talking with a 9th grade biology teacher, and she was saying, what can I do to increase literacy in my classroom? So I pulled up her core guide because science standards are not intuitive to my English brain. So I pulled up the core guide because that's a little bit easier to understand. Went through all this stuff. And so we sat down and talked about the 3D instructions and what scientists do. And we talked about how scientists read informational text. Scientists write up persuasive writing in the things that they do. And that was actually really helpful for her. And I was able to use her core guide that was a little bit more digestible than the standards. The other thing I wanted to comment on are the parent guides. I don't think a lot of parents really know about the parent guides. They're pretty basic, but they're amazing. And they have tons of resources. They break down the standards the parents can understand, and they really help. I use the parent guides as a parent and as a teacher. So I just want to say great job to the staff and great job to the board that supports the staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianna. Laurel Fetzer.
No, actually. Just a second. Jerry, can you come turn the laptop back on? Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Laurel Fetzer from Murray, Utah. I'm speaking today to 12 of the board members who think it's a good use of their time to publicly reprimand another board member, namely Natalie Klein. When the audit department found no fault in her, some of these board members leaked the investigation to the press using inaccurate and misleading information. So I am disappointed in you 12 board members. You are uniquely supposed to represent your individual areas of the state and protect education and children of all of Utah. There is no policy or law stating that an elected member of USBE needs to act in unity with the rest of the board. In fact, in your roles as elected officials, it is where the debate should happen. But instead, in the name of unity, you go after board member Klein because she opposes your views on education. And if you can't find a way to disprove her message, you've got to go after her as the messenger. You broke your own public meeting policy, having a meeting without public knowledge in order to reprimand her. Ironically, you break your own policy just so you can claim she broke your policy. I received a letter from board member Straight that was a personal letter to Natalie Klein. And after I asked him about it, he claimed it had been widely circulated. It hadn't been circulated until the information was grandma'd. I did not solicit this information, and I believe Straight shared it with me to try to publicly shame Klein. It seems like you don't like the honest truth that you are really not protecting the children of Utah, unless your definition of protecting children is different than mine. From what I can tell, you have made it easy for kids to access pornography in school. You have encouraged all school subjects to include DEI and SEL, and you promoted CSE and much of the grievance studies to be taught to children of all ages. I'm so embarrassed that this board, with people from both political parties, is so easily walked over that they are ushering in the new Marxist agenda. You should be doing all you can to pull back laws and resist any policy that does not improve the academic rigor of the past. I think you owe Natalie Klein a formal apology, and it should be as long and involved as the complaints you obsessed about doing for her. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Laurel. April Wild Despain. Online, I believe. Nope. Here we go. April.
Do I need to press anything?
It's red.
Okay. My name is April Wild Despain from Murray, Utah. First, I want to state my gratitude for Natalie Klein. She, more than any other member on this board, has stood for my rights and concerns as a parent. It's not easy to be the one who takes the arrows for standing up to the issues in public schools today. While most board members make careful statements that keep their reputations clean and their lives easy, Natalie takes the difficult issues head on and states truths that other board members won't dare touch, even if they privately claim to agree with her. I'm grateful for the fortitude she demonstrates in defending truth, our children, and the rights of parents. In July 2023, USBE began what should have been a confidential investigation of Klein based on unfounded accusations sent to the audit department. When IA cleared Natalie, a few members of USBE took matters into their own hands. In the name of unity, and protecting USBE's reputation, what proceeded was a slew of illegal and unethical actions, ironically, all of which damaged both unity and reputation of USBE. While there are several actions I should cite, I only have time to focus on one. On July 12th, at the request of Chair Jim Moss, Sarah Reel wrote an email to board leadership detailing the investigation on Klein and adding her own personal insults. Less than 24 hours later, all the details from this confidential email were headline news on KSL, and Sarah was quoting it all over social media. Sarah claimed KSL got this email through Grandma, but that was proven false. Who illegally shared this email? Was it Sarah Reel? Will you spend as much time and energy investigating Sarah Reel as you have spent investigating Klein? Why are you so focused on defaming Natalie Klein through illegal and unethical actions? Is this really what you, as members of USBE, believe to be the best use of our resources? Please stop wasting taxpayer time and money in illegal and unethical pursuits of childish personal vendettas against your fellow board member. Not only are you not helping our students, but you are damaging your own credibility. I think it would be a good idea for you to take a page from Natalie's book and learn to focus on our students and how to best protect them. Thank you, Natalie, for setting the example for your fellow board members on how to really represent parents and help our children receive the best education possible. Thank you.
Thank you, April. We have two more. And I apologize. I've got to cut out. My day job once in a while intrudes, and I've got to join a court call in California in my lawyer capacity. So Vice Chair Hart will take it from here. I think we have two left. And, you know, again, I'll just state for the record, there's an appropriate place for these things. If anybody has a concern that folks have done things that are in violation of bylaws or law, you can submit a complaint. Some of those have been submitted. So we don't shy from that. Bring it there and it'll get the appropriate attention. And as I mentioned earlier, for my part, there was no meeting with 7 members. There was a meeting with 6, and that's being sorted out in the appropriate forum. Next up, take it away, Molly. Sorry to ditch out.
Sure. Nicholas Willis. Go ahead, Nicholas.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
No, can you adjust your volume a little bit and we'll work on it on our end too?
Yes, let me check. Can you hear me now?
No. Can we get someone to adjust the volume in here as well? No, we're all the way up here. Nicholas, can you talk louder?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, that's
that better?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Greetings, Utah State Board of Education. In today's society, freedom of speech and thought is under attack. I have noticed this as I've continued to get involved in politics and have been vocal at a national level, as well as in local politics. I have continued to educate myself on state and local policies. We need more citizens to stand up to this political correctness which has taken over this country. Natalie Klein is one of the many elected officials who are willing to take these issues head on. I have sat back and witnessed many of you state board members, like Randy Booth, call his constituents crazy. Board members Carol Lear and Sarah Reel both have personal vendettas against Natalie and will do anything to throw her under the bus, all in the name of diversity and inclusion. It is evident that the teachers' unions are also targeting Natalie. It is clear that many on this board are willing to violate your oath of office and violate the public's right to freedom of speech. Any of you that are not willing to protect our children and defend parents' rights, I ask that you submit your resignations today. Thank you.
Next up, we have Cheryl Ruth. Cheryl is on Zoom. Thank you, Cheryl. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Allred. I'm a licensed teacher and substitute in Alpine and Provo School District. I've been in over 100 schools and have reported and seen many instances as a mandated reporter that concern me as a parent as well as.
Yeah, hold on. Miss Allred, can you adjust your volume and start over? We can't hear.
Okay, yeah.
You're muffled. Is there a way to get closer to the mic?
Can you hear me now?
That is better. Thank you. Go ahead. Your 2 minutes starts over. And I apologize, Cheryl Allred.
Okay, thank you. I'm a licensed teacher and substitute in Alpine and Provost school districts. I've been in over 100 classes and have reported and seen many instances which concern me as a parent as well as a teacher. I have been retaliated against, harassed, stalked online, lied about, and terminated because of my reports. I'm here to testify that these experiences Natalie Klein has shared on social media are factual and true. She has shared one of the reports I sent into my school board online, and because of it, I was fired for misconduct, lied about, and told I had death threats against me. Here are 3 of the reports that I've sent into USB and my school districts, as well as met with principals and had nothing done other than the retaliation against myself. On September 2nd, 2022, I taught an English class in Orem. This teacher had 10 titles in her main library and 6 behind her desk that my school district had determined contained pornography and needed to be restricted and had parental consent to check out. They were in no way restricted or labeled out so students would know that they contained pornography. In her instructions for the day, she had stated, if worse comes to worse, have the students quietly read. These are the titles that she had available in her classroom: Frank, Red Hood, What Girls Are Made Of, Milk and Honey, and Tilt. When I made this report anonymously, I was suspended from subbing. I was told by my district that in order to challenge these books, I would have to read them in their entirety, which caused me many health problems, and the titles are still available in these classrooms. I was then fired as a custodian at this high school and left about by the principal, told that I had staged these books. Other incidents was
Your
a
time is
lecture
up,
on
ma'am.
March
Can you finish? Would you like to finish? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Allred.